Okay, I'm going to demonstrate here how foil affects your targets in the ground. And there's just a lot of surface foil around in parks and schools, right? You have to get through that foil. And I'm going to bury a coin here, and I'm going to show you the difference between these three coils here and the Anfibio on the Simplexes. I have a 267 stock, a 278 with the SP24 coil on it, and I have this 277 with the SP24 coil on it. And I'll start out with the this one right here, because this one does not have a mute button, and I'll turn it on right now just so I can get this over with. And my yard is really trashy, okay? There's iron all over the place. I'll turn it on, and there's no really need to ground balance right here because there's just so much iron here. I haven't ground balanced the other Simplexes yet. Excuse me, I just ate, so you can hear how jumpy it is. It's just gonna go all over the place. 48, I'll go up with that. I'll go to 68, okay? It's impossible to ground balance around iron. You know, there's just stuff. There could be silver dimes just all over the place over here. I found dimes in here already. There's just so many nails, foil, just massive foil. But this is a clean area, a fairly clean area here. And I'll take a dime. There's no mute button on this, so that's why I want to get this out of the way. The 267 does not have a mute button on it. And I'll bury this dime here at about 3 inches deep, right? Right there. Right there. And I'll just show you how foil affects different coils, right? And I'll put that little piece of leaf right there, just so I know exactly where that coin is at. And I'll go over it with the Simplex here, 267. Spanking it pretty good. That's not even at full gain. I'm in park mode here. The tones, man. Listen to the tones. Don't go by the numbers. Because if you go by the numbers, you're never going to dig up a dime in this situation here, right? It's reading up 04, 35. Just a little bit of a tone there. But this is a super trashy area, man. You can see foil right there all over the surface, but I found a lot of coins in this area. So that was smacking it just a little bit, right? So I'll turn that machine off because it doesn't have a mute button on it. And I'll take, and I'll actually take a little bit of foil. I'll turn this back on. I'm not going to ground balance. Just not going to waste my time with ground balancing it. And right where that leaf is at is where that coin is at. And I'll put that foil right there on the top. Or I'll put it off on the side a little bit. How about that? To see if I can still separate it out. Look at that. Just spanking that thing like there's no tomorrow, man. Spanking it like there's no tomorrow. Didn't even have to ground balance it, right? And now I'll go over it with the SP24 coil. And this is the 278 version. I'll unmute it here. And I'll take that foil off there to see if I can smack it without that foil in the same exact spot there. I'm getting some pretty good tones there. I'm at full gain, Park 2. Pretty good tone there. There's a dime down there. Just a lot of iron around it. I'll go to Park 1 mode. Look at that. Look at how solid that tone is right there. I'm not looking at the numbers. The tone. Go by the tone. So I'm getting a fairly repeatable target there at, you know, this way right here, right? And now I'll take this foil here and put it in the exact same spot and see how it affects it, right? I'm getting that foil. But I'm still getting those high tones in there, see? that big coil actually did really good. The Simplex 267 version is freaking deadly. I'm telling you, man. That's my favorite version out of all the Simplex. I have 2,700 hours on the Simplex, and I know for a fact that 267 version is just a hot rod, man, for some reason, and it doesn't have any coil options. Just the stock coil on the thing, man, just tears it up. And you're going to be taking that foil out there anyway. Hopefully you guys are digging the foil out, you know, get the foil off the surface so you can get those deeper coins. And I did notice a glitch in the new updates here. If you have it muted and you switch modes, it unmutes it, right? They'll probably fix that here shortly. I'm hoping that they'll fix that, because it kind of drives me nuts a little bit when I have my machine muted and I want to change the mode. It unmutes it. So, but I'll go over here and use the 277 with the SP22 coil on it, and I'll show you, man. I'll take that foil out. There's a dime down there. My gain is all the way up. I'm in Park 2 mode here. Spanking that thing very good. I mean, and actually this coil is doing better than those other 2 coils there, right? Watch once I stick this foil on there, man. Right there in the same spot. It's even better, man. So the foil makes it sound really good. I'll take this foil and move it over here. Watch this, see? Watch. That's what I've been talking about. The Simplex 277 version, or the SP22 coil, really likes foil. For some reason, the 277 just can't penetrate, man. It can't penetrate this foil. It just wants to read up this foil first, you know? But you should be digging out the foil, you know, because the foil's good too. The foil can sometimes surprise you with like some jewelry or something. But I'll show you here. I'll show you here with my Anfibio. I don't know why I did that. I'll show you with Anfibio, man. I'll turn my volume up because I had it almost muted there because it was going crazy because I had so many other Simplexes on at the same time. It's not going to run very stable because all those other Simplex are on. Actually, I'll turn them off. Turn them off here. Turn them off. Now we're going a little bit more stable here. Okay. Spanking it, spanking it, spanking it, spanking it, spanking it, spanking it. Not doing very good right there. Spanking it, spanking it, spanking it, spanking it. Not doing very good right there. But I can adjust a little bit here too. Kind of tweak on it a little bit here for a minute and get it to hit it really good. But I'll show you, man. And it's in 14 kilohertz frequency. I want to try to match these up a little bit to the Simplex. But I'll stick that foil over there and I'll show you, man. I'll take that foil away and show you what it sounds like. Grunts at me, man. High tones, man. Look at that. Just spanking it out. The other detectors just were not doing it. And I'll put it in 20 kilohertz frequency and I'll show you. I'll show you what it's gonna do, man. Bing, 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 bing. It's struggling a little bit right there on that. And I'll show you the foil. See how it's all crackly? And I'll show you. I'll move this foil right back to where it was on the other tests there. Now I'll go to 5 kilohertz. And it will spank this thing like there's no tomorrow. It's tone, man. Have it up a little bit too high. Drop it down to 90. Spanking it. Just by the tone. Look at that, 80s, man. Look at that. I'm almost getting a clean target all the way around like that. Oh, go like this. Remove that foil. 80s, 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 80s. Having a small coil is super essential for all metal detectors, man. So you can get through that trash just like that. That dime is only at 3 inches deep, man. That dime is only at 3 inches deep. So having a small coil and having a multi-frequency machine is so much better to get through this foil and this trash. And there's a lot of iron. There's just rusty nails all over the surface here. And there's even deeper big iron. And I've found so many relics in this area in my yard here. And I have a few videos on those targets. I found an awesome toy back there, a small little ambulance midge toy from the 1940s or 30s. And any of these targets out here could be a silver dime being masked by iron, right? I found a wheat penny here this morning. I found another silver dime right over in that area when I first got my Simplex. And I had really hit that hard with my other machines. And the other machines just really didn't do very good in this type of an environment, you know, even though I've really used my my other machines in iron. But once I first got the Simplex, I realized, man, this is the way to go, man. The newer machines are just so superior at getting through the iron and getting through the foil. When I first got my Simplex, I was smacking out multiple silvers every day for the first 6 months, man. I mean, I had so many days there where I was getting 3-4 silvers a day, man, in the curb strips where I've just beat to death. I've gotten a lot of silver in the past there, but I've hunted them. I haven't really gotten much silver. And then once I got my Simplex, man, I just slaughtered the places where I've been getting silver at, just cleaning it up, man. And even when I got my Anfibio too, when I first got my Anfibio, I went over to a bunch of curb strips where Silver Street, I had some series of videos on Silver Street, and I just wrecked shop, man. But then once I got the Simplex, I was able to cover more ground, and with that 11-inch coil there, cover more ground and swing faster because it's such a much lighter machine than the Anfibio. I have to swing the Anfibio a lot slower because my arm, you know, I don't want to be swinging super fast. But covering the ground, man, covering as much ground as you can, and with those big coils right there, back there, I would be having to swing a lot to be able to get that target to pop out. With the Anfibio here in 5 kilohertz, it was just hitting it right off the bat. Almost every angle that I was hitting that dime down there, even with that foil, it was doing very good with that foil. But I do have my my tone brakes adjusted so it's kind of makes that foil kind of chattery. Like I've said in the past, the tone brakes are really what I adjust most on the Anfibio. I'm always adjusting my tone brakes. So if I'm getting a lot of foil or if I'm getting a lot of iron, I can adjust those tone brakes and I can adjust those volumes on each one of those tone brakes. So if I have a bunch of overwhelming iron, I'll just drop that iron down just a little bit. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.